Good morning, Monarchs. Welcome to the first video for lesson 3.5. Today we are solving compound inequalities. So last lesson was solving inequalities and word problems. Now we are solving what are called compound inequalities. Okay. So not super difficult, a little bit complicated, but we will go through the different rules and we should be able to figure these out, I think. All right. So compound inequalities are basically just an inequality that has two separate inequality signs on it. So we're doing compound inequalities. It's the name of the lesson. And it's just an inequality that has two different inequality signs in it, okay? So like this says, write an inequality that represents the set of numbers, and then we're graphing the inequality, okay? So I'll show you guys how these are different from the ones that we have been working on, all right? So this statement says all real numbers that are greater than or equal to -5. So if you look, our x right now is between this and this -5. So we want our arrow, our greater than, to be facing our x. And for it to be facing our x, since it's greater than, we need it to be eating our x. We need the mouth to be open to the x. All right, so we have greater than or equal to 5. So that's our inequality sign that goes there, or to -5, and less than -2. So now we have to have x is less than -2. Okay, so we have greater than or equal to x is greater than or equal to -5, and x is less than 2. Okay, now it wants us to graph that. So first, I want to go to 2, because if I cover up this side of this equation, right, if I cover up this side of this equation, all I have is x is less than 2. So the first one I'm going to graph is 2. So I'm going to go to where 2 is right here. I know it's going to be an open dot above 2. So I'm going to do an open dot above 2, and that's because there is no equal to sign underneath it. And I know my tail would come off going this way, so I know my arrow needs to point going this way. Okay, now I'm going to go and cover up this side. I have -5 is less than x. So if I write this with my variable first, I'm going to write this x, right? X, and then I know that my sign opens towards my x. So I'm going to open it towards my x. So I have x is greater than or equal to -5. I always rewrite them like that because it's just easier for me to visualize that graph. Okay, because now I know I need to go to -5, do a closed dot above -5, and my arrow is going to go this way. Okay, so this is actually the graph for -5 is less than or equal to x, which is less than 2. I have an open dot above 2, and I have a closed dot above -5, and they kind of meet in the middle. Okay, so that's the less than. We say less than because there's two less than signs, right? Less than. Next, we have greater. That's the other kind of saying we will use a lot today is less than and greater. Okay, so now we have all real numbers that are greater than or equal to 3 or less than -3. So we have greater. Okay, so we're going to have two greater than signs basically. So first we have all real numbers that are greater than or equal to 3. So I'm going to do x for my all real numbers. That's my variable. It stands for all real numbers. And I have greater than or equal to 3. My greater than or equal to sign looks like that. And then I have 3. Then I also have or less than -3. Okay, so now I have x less than -3. Okay, so I have x is greater than or equal to 3, or x is less than or equal to -3. Okay, now I want to graph that. These are pretty straightforward with graphing. We don't have to rewrite anything because my x is not in the middle. It's already on the left side of my inequality, right? So I'm going to go to 3, and I want to do a closed dot above 3. Okay, I'm doing a closed dot because it has this or equal to sign, and my arrow is going to point to the right. Okay, and then I'm going to do a closed dot above -3, and my arrow is now going to go to the left. Okay, see how the tail comes off to the left? My arrow will now go to the left. Okay, so this is the graph. This is greater. As you can see, they do not connect in the middle. They go opposite ways, and that's how all of our graphs for greater will be. All of our graphs for less than will meet in the middle, kind of like this one. And all of our graphs for greater will go the opposite way. The arrows will go the opposite way. All right, so stay tuned for the second video for lesson 3.5. We will finish this next example, then we'll flip it over and go to the back and work on the ones